But I think the development of full artificial intelligence will spell the end of the human race.
It's a flying object and we don't know what it is. I would hope somebody is checking it out.
With the rockets or whatever, but incredibly fast, opposite direction. They were too fast to be an airplane.
I'm glad the Pentagon is looking at this, because if it poses a threat, I want them on top of it.
Well, the craft generates its own gravitational field.
You said there's lights in the sky?
The internet has become the command center for criminals and terrorists.
911, what's your emergency? I need help, please help!
Aliens won't let it happen. You know, that's what we're instructed to say.
Roswell, Area 51. Alien kept deep under the ground.
1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0.
Self-serving. You're here for a reason. You're listening to Troubled Minds Radio. Broadcasting live from a secret bunker just off the extraterrestrial highway. Somewhere in the desert sands outside of Las Vegas. From somewhere in space-time, loosely labeled Generation X on planet Earth. And asking questions of you in earnest into the digital darkness. Well, good evening, and welcome to Troubled Minds Radio. I'm your host, Michael Strange. We're streaming on YouTube, Rumble, X, Twitch, and Kick. We are broadcasting live on the Troubled Minds Radio Network. That's KUAP Digital Broadcasting. Actually, we're not on the radio right now. Something broke. I'll have to fix that. We'll circle back. We'll be on the radio on Thursday night. But typically, we would be on the actual digital radio station, which you can find at troubledminds.org. Thanks for understanding. I needed some time off. There's all kinds of things happening in my personal life, with the family, with just tons of things, and I'm not going to bore you with the gory details. But trust me, it's heavy lifting type stuff, and oddly enough, I didn't expect to need the time off that I did. I kind of was like, well, I just need a break, and then everything kind of, crap hits the fan as a result of things sometimes, and here we are. In any case, thank you for understanding, and thanks for hanging out, and thanks for being part of the conversations, and thank you for missing me. I got so many nice notes while I was away, emails, and people just checking to make sure everything was fine, and are we going to be back? So thank you for missing me. I certainly missed you guys, and that's that. Everything's a little bit different because I've been setting up some other things, just so you guys know. So if I break some stuff and push some buttons and do some weird things, and I mean, you're used to it because there's only me pushing buttons, but still, things might be a little bit weird tonight. As you can tell, there's like a low res camera and stuff. Anyway, forget all that. I'm looping in some new tricks and some new ideas and some new things. So we're going to do that in just a second. We are taking your calls tonight. If you want to be part of the conversation, the way to do that is troubledminds.org. You click the Discord link, you pop on in. You put your hand up on the Discord. James is already there with us. We're going to talk to James tonight. He's going to sit in. And we're talking, I'm calling this Alien Theology, the 2026 moment. Now, why? What does that mean? What does it look like? And of course, things are changing. Things are changing incredibly quickly. So without further ado, let me just read the damn blurb, because, old technology sometimes is the better way to do these things. And I'm just going to read the blurb. Okay. So bear with me for just a moment as I fill you in on what's on my mind this evening. So what if the institutions that claim to represent truth, the Vatican, the government, the scientific establishment, have simultaneously lost all credibility at the exact moment they might finally need to tell us something that rewrites everything? That's the real story of 2026. And it's not about whether aliens exist. It's about what happens when you can't trust proof anymore. 5 facts are converging right now, and we've talked about these in the past. The first American Pope in 2,000 years was elected in May of 2025. A Vatican observatory director publicly stated he would baptize an alien. A credible former U.S. Air Force intelligence officer, that would be David Grush, testified to Congress that the Vatican helped conceal a UFO recovery dating back to 1933. And of course, Congress just passed legislation requiring the Pentagon to disclose every UAP intercept since 2004. And they want it delivered this year in 2026. On top of all that, a filmmaker claims he's been given rare access to Vatican archives investigating extraterrestrial contact. And now, these aren't conspiracy theories. These are documented statements from credible officials, I'll do the air quotes, credible officials, and legislative mandates sitting in the same moment. But what does it mean for us? What does it mean for 2026? And here's where it gets genuinely strange. We're living in a moment where deepfakes have become indistinguishable from reality. I talk about that often. I think about that often because anybody can guess what 2026, 7, 8, and 2030 is going to look like, because that's just the way things are, right? But in this case, AI can generate synthetic news broadcasts. We've seen it with perfect emotional authenticity. The concept of proof has become functionally useless because evidence itself is now unreliable. At the exact moment where institutional announcements might finally tell us we're not alone in this cosmos, we've simultaneously entered a zone where we can't trust whether any announcement is real. Welcome to 2026 and hyperreality. This is what psychologists call ontological shock, and we've talked about that. That was a term going through the UFO community for quite some time for a moment there. But this is the moment when the ontological shock, when your fundamental understanding of what exists gets yanked out from under you. UFO abductees know it. Paranormal experiencers understand it. But 2026 is different. We're about to experience ontological shock while simultaneously unable to establish what's real. We're fragmenting into incompatible epistemologies along algorithmic lines so deep that we can't even agree on what event just occurred. Anybody watching the news recently, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And of course, the Vatican knows this. They're not betting on being able to prove aliens exist. They're betting on being able to shift the permission structure so that discussing non-human intelligence becomes normal before proof even matters. And this is something that's been on my mind for a long time. We've talked about it quite a lot in the past. But there's an individual by the name of Richard D'Souza, and he's been methodically normalizing alien theology from within the Vatican. And that's why the Vatican has been preparing this theological framework for 15 years without announcing anything, really. They're doing institutional reality management through theology as technology. What we're about to witness, whether it comes as congressional briefings or Vatican statements or filmmaker revelations, won't look like disclosure. It won't feel dramatic. It might feel anticlimactic to some people and earth-shattering to others, depending entirely on which algorithmic reality you inhabit. Because we're not just facing the possibility of alien contact, we're facing the collapse of shared reality at the exact moment when we need institutional coherence the most. This is that 2026 moment, the convergence of 5 institutional forces all pointing toward the same threshold. The question isn't whether aliens are real. The question is, what does it mean to live through ontological shock when you can't trust reality at all anymore? And that's what's on my mind tonight. And we'll do that way. That way I don't have to ramble through it. I'll just read from a teleprompter in old school style. And there you go. That's what's happening tonight. And as usual, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. What about this hyper reality situation? Is there such a thing as ontological shock when truth becomes a moment of the past? When we... Not even truth. Truth is so far removed at this point, in my opinion, that everything's fractalizing. Everything's becoming that weird idea of you believe in certain things, those reality anchors. And as a result, you end up believing things that you won't let go because you refuse to believe you're wrong. Okay. And part of what I always do on this show is talk about these ideas like I'm wrong. I'm wrong about all of this, because if I'm not, then what I'm doing is I'm creating this system within myself that refuses to let go of these anchors. When I know for sure many of the anchors I believe to be true in my life are not correct. There you go. That puts us about where we need to be for the evening, and we'll talk to James in a moment. But let's get a word from our sponsor. In this case, that would be Human Inspiration, if I can find the right buttons. Give me just one moment. Be right back. More Troubled Minds in just one quick minute, and we'll talk to James and take your calls and talk about this idea as well, because it's weird. And I'll show you the article where this came from, actually. These are linked in the description, but this is all hitting January 3rd, 4th, 5th, like the last few days, talking about the Pope preparing for first contact with aliens this year. Okay. Clickbait, nonsense, or something else. That's what's on my mind tonight. Be right back. More Troubled Minds coming up in just one moment. Let me find the button. Oh goodness. Where is it? How about this one? Oh no. This is what happens when you've been away from the game for a minute here. You forget all the damn buttons. Let's see. This one is... Let's play this one. This is good. This is from an old friend, Jack, in Oregon. This is the Stoic Minute. Be right back. More Troubled Minds in exactly 1 minute. If I can click the damn button. Okay, there we go. Is that right? No, that's not right. Is that right? Yeah, okay. This is going to have to work. Be right back. More Troubled Minds in 1 minute. Feeling stressed, overwhelmed? In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to get swept away by our emotions. Take a breath and find your inner strength with the Stoic Minute.
You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength.
The ancient Stoic philosophers understood that we can't control everything in life, but we can control how we react.
The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts.
Focus on what you can influence. Cultivate a positive mindset and let go of what you can't change. Find your inner strength. Live each day with courage, wisdom, justice, and moderation. Embrace the Stoic virtues and find peace within. The Stoic Minute, brought to you by Jack in Oregon. Welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm Michael Strange. Let us continue, shall we? Again, taking your calls tonight. We got some calls popping in already. Thank you for that. Thank you for missing me. Thank you for missing us in the community. Thank you for keeping your mind troubled in a space that is jarring sometimes. These are not comfortable ideas to think about. So thank you for taking that journey with me and understanding, as I said previously, that I'm wrong about a lot of these things, most of these things. But it doesn't matter. The conversation and thinking about them collectively is what really matters here. Love to hear your thoughts on this as we go tonight. We are taking your calls. I'm abbreviating shows to 2 hours. So if you want to get a call in early. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. James Salcido, welcome to the joint. Thanks for being patient. How you doing? Welcome back to the thing. We've been talking, so it's not like we've really been away because James and I have been talking almost every day anyway. But welcome back. How you feeling? What are your thoughts on where we're at? And welcome back, my man.
Long time no chat. I mean, just like weeks and months.
Yeah, right.
No,
like yesterday.
It's true. Literally less than 24 hours ago. Yeah, hopefully I sound okay, and I'm glad to be back here with you doing this again.
Yeah, coming through great. Let me know on the Discord. Can you guys hear him well? I hope so, because if so, that's good. And everything should be working properly. Like I said, I'll fix the radio station for Thursday, but for right now, we're going to just roll it on the regular streams. Thanks, guys, in the chat. I'll shout you out at the bottom of the hour here. And let's go. What's on your mind tonight? Real quick, first, can you guys hear James? I know he's coming through the streams. Can you guys hear him on Discord? I would appreciate that feedback. And otherwise, go right ahead, James. What do you think about this idea, alien theology, and this 2026 moment of hyperreality?
Yeah, it's fascinating to me because there's two things that you mentioned in the write-up there that I think are sort of the constants in all of this that maybe are not always acknowledged by all those other sort of government, scientific community, religious organizations, is the people that have all the experiences. And we've talked about this before too, where there are major sort of groups in that cover UFOs and all these things that have their own narratives, and the experiencers sometimes, just to be kind, sometimes get lost in that shuffle of all that. So then you add in governments and scientific institutions and then religious organizations, and it does make everything very complex. I do agree that for some people, if there is any kind of disclosure, it might not really matter that much to them, because some of those may be the people that had experiences, but then there may be other people where it is a huge deal. It is a huge announcement to them, a huge newsflash to them in a way, because they haven't had experiences and they've only heard about things that happen to others and or to people in government or religious organizations as well.
Yeah, it is a lot of things kind of converging here, and it is wild to consider that some things happen, and some sections of the sub slices or of society, of the community at large, the human community, are super stoked or super mad or super this or super that. But then other versions of the community could care less. Something happens in sports ball, as I always joke about, and so much of the world just doesn't give a crap. But some slices of the world, these smaller communities, and not to say baseball or football are small communities, these are massive followings, but they're super super into it, super stoked, super excited, and no judgment on any of that. Like I like baseball too. I turn football on and let it go for noise and stuff. But still, you get my point. If aliens are actually announced tomorrow, like, some people will be really stoked, and some people won't give a damn because they'll think it's garbage. They'll think it's BS. They'll think that hyper reality has already set in, and you can't believe a damn thing on the internet anyway.
Yeah, or they'll be some of the people that I'm talking about and sort of my own experience where we'll hear that and be like, yeah, I know. I'm aware that this is a possibility. And maybe even in some cases, people will say, yeah, I know, I've met them, and it's a fascinating thing. And I do think it's important to watch what all these large organizations do. But as always, take whatever they say with a grain of salt, so to speak, no matter what they're saying.
Yeah, exactly right. Even whoever wins the Super Bowl, don't ever believe that anymore. Hyper reality is becoming quite the thing. And like I said, you guys know me, and the write up is very good. It kind of labels all of these things we're talking about tonight. And I think about this sort of more from the synchromistic aspect, from all these ideas sort of merging together into this one space of, okay, so if this, then this, then this, then this, and all these things are, quasi true, then what the hell is really happening here? This becomes the weird part, because how do we put 2 and 2 together when people can't even agree that 2 + 2 = 4? Very Orwellian, of course, George Orwell. So I don't know. There's a ton here, ton to talk about. Love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. Hang tight, James. We got some calls. If you got a final thought real quick, we'll get back to you, of course, at the bottom of the hour. But love to hear your thoughts on what I just said. And then we got a couple of calls we need to get to as well. Thanks for, again, being Johnny on the spot and the glue and all the stuff. I appreciate you very much.
I think it's all we can do right now is watch and wait and see what happens, and go from there.
Strap in. Like I always say, things are about to get weird, and how weird, I don't know. Do you think that? So here's a quick question for you too before we jump to the phone lines. Elon Musk recently posted on X that the singularity has arrived. So who knows what he's seen behind the scenes, that, maybe software on demand, maybe he's seen Optimus robots, maybe he's seen these things. Do you think that that's more of a marketing statement, or do you think he's actually seen something that we've turned a corner that we'll never go back on as far as humanity is concerned?
I feel like I've heard similar statements like that before, and I'm not saying that just to be like, oh, I don't care what major organizations say at all, but it just seems like there's always something that's it's going to be big. It's going to be big, whatever it is, whether it's aliens or technology or, this is going to be the next huge thing, and then we don't hear about much for a while. So I don't know. That makes me very cynical about a lot of things in this world at this point.
Yeah. Amen. Amen. Very well said. Hang tight. We'll get back to you momentarily. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. We'll put you on the show. Let's go to, I think this is Jay in Arizona. What's up, brother? You're on Troubled Minds. Can you hear me? Test 1, 2. I hope this works. Okay. I can hear you. James, can you hear him?
Yes, I can.
Okay, that's good. You're not coming through to the stream, so let me fix that real quick. One moment. Let's see. Output. I swear we fixed this last night, didn't we, James? And it's still, something's breaking here. Okay, that's
yeah. Technology is fun.
Okay. Say something real quick, Jay. I hear you good. You're not coming through to the other thing. Hold on. Oh, wait, let's see. That means that it's me. It's me. It's certainly me. So yeah, you're not coming through to the stream though. So if you want to make it quick, that's cool, and I'll fix it and get back to you. Or you tell me, because this is not good, because the stream can't hear you. That's not good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. They can't hear you, just so you know. January. Yep. Okay, near the Air Force Base in Arizona. Actually, Jay, this is, hold on real quick. I don't think you can even hear me anymore. Okay. I'm going to, unfortunately, have to end the call. Test. Nobody can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Test. Okay.
Nope, I don't think he hears me.
Okay. Nope. Okay. Is that the Air Force Base? All right. This is terrible radio. I'm sorry about that. Joe, I see you on the line. Call back, please, on Discord. You guys could jump on Discord because, everything was working last night. I promise. James and I tested it and everything was good. And now it's not. And I'm sorry I hung up on you, Jay, but literally they cannot hear you on the stream. So that is not good. So I'm going to just kill the phone line instead of trying to push buttons on the fly here. He was talking about how he had a situation where he went to an Air Force base local to him, and he was seeing some stuff, and it's too good to, again, I'd rather hang up on him than have him tell the tale to people that can't hear it, except for just me and James and the people on Discord. Anyways, I'm really sorry about that. Please jump back on the Discord, and we will we'll work it out that way. So yeah, my bad. Entirely my bad on that. It is a thing when you have the only guy doing audio and stuff and don't have board operators and all the rest. But anyway, thank you for the phone call, Jay. I appreciate that. Yeah, get him back, please. I will try. Call back, Jay, please. He's checking the stream. So please call back on the Discord and we'll get you back on because I do want to hear exactly what you were describing. And the chat is also saying, yeah, get this guy back. Get Jay in Arizona, good friend for a long time. And he's a skydiver. He's actually a skydiver. He's the official skydiver of Troubled Minds. You know, I'd like to call y'all an official something or other, you official wonderful people out there. So yes, please do call back and jump on the Discord. And yeah, I'm sorry about that. I'm really sorry about that. It is grotesquely unprofessional of me, but sometimes things break on the fly, and that's what you got to roll with the punches. So my apologies to Jay and everybody else that was listening that couldn't really kind of hear what was happening there. But he was, again, he said Happy New Year and all the rest of the stuff you would expect from a fine gentleman. And then he was telling a tale of something he experienced. So I didn't want him to tell it and me hear it and none of you guys hear it. So anyway, that's what's going on. Love to hear your thoughts tonight. I'm calling this the alien theology, the 2026 moment. Of course, we're talking about hyper reality and how it converges with this ontological shock. How can you put these ideas together when nobody can agree on what truth is? And that becomes the problem, and not just a problem, one of many problems. Because as I like to say when we talk about these things, just because a problem presents itself and you can point to it and say specifically, oh, this might be a problem, it doesn't necessarily mean it's the biggest problem or the only problem. We got a lot of problems on our plate. Sorry about that. Phone number's broken. Get back in here. Don't call the number, troubledminds.org, click the Discord link. Be right back. More on the way. Don't go anywhere. I'll say hi to the chat in just a second here. And we'll be back in just a couple minutes with continuing the conversation and more Troubled Minds coming up. Be right back.
Said the sky was closed, paper thin dome over our doubts. But I've seen patterns in the storm maps, same shape as the symbols in the blackout. Old books, margins full of question marks, halo that's drawn with satellite rings. Prophets talking to a burning bush, or something that came down on silver wings. Alien theology, praying to the glow, talking to the dark like it's someone we know. 2026 moment, countdown in my chest. If the heavens answer, will we really want what's said? Governments brief us with pixelated smiles. We've prepared for this for years. But my pastor shakes them on a one page, says, what if we misheard who's really here? Ancient murals, long oval eyes, same 8 stars over every gate. make our love a mistake.
Indeed. What's up, Ricky Gaston? We got Matzel. Oops. Joe in Florida is coming up next. Is that Kramos? We got Herschel. I see you, Daryl. What's up, Carl? I used to call Carl Carla. Sorry about that, Carl. My bad. What's up, Molly? The Robert. Dawn is here. What's up, Often Frozen? Ray K, I see you there. By the way, shout out Ray K. Great work on the podcast there, kind of galvanizing the community, not just the Troubled Minds community, but also sort of a larger community of her network as well. It's really good stuff. Check it out, The Radical Truth, and we'll put links in the description and, of course, in the chat as well. Mephisto's here. What's up, The Quantum? I see you. Over to What's Up, Rumble. Thanks again for being cool and chill, guys. You guys are incredible. Matthew in Colorado, and James. We'll talk to them momentarily. So this is the order. We got Joe in Florida coming up. We got Matthew in Colorado. We got Kramos, and your calls as well. Go on the Discord. Sorry, the phone line's broken. You know me. You know me in the buttons. What's up, sweets? Carl's here. How you doing? What's up, Hiker? I see you guys over there. Ricky. Hello. If I missed anybody, Gordo, welcome back. I see you. Hello. We got a Puff sighting is here. Yes, you guys are the best. Okay, cool. I'll circle back and get Discord, or sorry, YouTube in just a second here. Let's talk to each other. So this is kind of the beta back. We're not the beta test of everything working, the teleprompter and all the things. So new formats and stuff. And the whole idea is I'm trying to do it so I can kind of encapsulate what this entire conversation is about in like 10 or 12 minutes, tell you guys more succinctly, and then be able to cut that into another video that's, very short form, that's, more amenable to YouTube. So anyway, got a couple things happening in play. And so this is the beta test of Troubled Minds being back. So thanks for hanging out. Thanks for understanding that the technology is always in flux. And thanks for being cool and chill. Here we go. Troubled Minds happening now. We'll go again. So Joe, then Matthew in Colorado. We got Kramos and your calls as well. And then I'll circle back and say hi to the YouTube chat as well. Here we go. What's up, Daryl in New York? I see you there. Thanks again for the reposts on X and everywhere else you guys are doing that. Here we go. Troubled Minds happening. Meow. Does that work? Maybe not. Welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm Michael Strange. Let's kick this off and go. I'm calling this Alien Theology in the 2026 moment. Now, obviously, hyperreality is heavy on my mind. It always has been, as things just keep changing. We're calling this a post-truth world, okay? Now, what the hell does that mean? If nobody can agree on a damn thing, we have problems. We have big problems happening here. And that's exactly why we need to talk to each other, why regular people need to talk to each other. Because if we don't, and we just listen to, what Reddit says, and look, no offense to Reddit. There's very brilliant people on Reddit. They're known for, sleuthing things that the FBI can't figure out. What is that all about? But point being, these sort of online communities are, they kind of live in their own realities. And, for better or worse, this is the space we're in together, and why it's important for me to talk about this and think about this, and for us to come together as a community and consider what it means, not just today, but for tomorrow and the coming days beyond. Love to hear your thoughts. Phone line is down tonight. Sorry about that. That's my fault entirely. Things break, and they broke. And shout out to Jay in Arizona, the official skydiver of Troubled Minds. Appreciate that. And my bad. I did hang up on you just because I didn't want you to tell the tale and then nobody hear it. That's tragic. Thanks for being cool and chill and patient, everybody. And actually, I clicked the wrong button. Not Kramos. Let's go to Joe in Florida. What's up, brother? Thanks for being you and being a good friend for a long time. How you doing tonight? Welcome to Troubled Minds, and go right ahead.
Well, can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
All right. Perfect, because I haven't used this microphone in forever, and I was messing with the settings. Good to have you back. I felt a little disturbance in the floor, so I'm like, let me check in, because I haven't been sitting at the computer And here you are. Yes, hope everybody had a good new year and a healthy year coming up. I know I've had my set of issues, but I'll talk about that another time. Just kind of getting through some health stuff and everything else. Right now, tonight, I've got a little bit of a cold. Bear with me. Ontological shock for the rest of us, but true belief for those in power. It seems more and more the two things that we hold on to, or that they hold on to, that keeps being thrown in our faces, are money and power. If I had to look for an absolute truth right now, despite aliens, despite anything, it would be money and power. I still got to pay my bills. We've said it before, aliens land, the truth comes out. Unless we end up in some Star Trek socialists, post-scarcity society, I still got to pay my bills. So money and power, to me, is the only truth, and I can't even see beyond that. I mean, it'd be nice to have the Star Trek future, but we're not going to. So diverging, and then to know the truth, this ontological shock. We've talked about this before. It was on one of your shows that search engines themselves might go bye-bye. If we don't use our old emails, we might lose that information. So what's kind of scary is all this money being invested in AI. If most of them fail, and maybe a few of them are successful, then is AI going to be the arbiter of truth? And is that going to be what we call the memory hole? I think it was called, where they could rewrite things. They could actively rewrite things. We literally could have a real life Mandela effect. And maybe after a generation passes away of people that remembered it one way, the next generation is going to be fed something else. And I'll give you an example of that. Ending of the Civil War, 1865 to 1965 to now. You still have generations of racists that were raised to be racist. And maybe you could breed that out of generations. I don't know. Maybe you can get rid of the books and the history books that explain that. I don't know. Maybe AI is going to take that over. Maybe we are fading away from religion. I don't exactly see that, but that's kind of my thoughts on that. It's kind of funny because I was veering on other things lately, like basically cosmic resets, and kind of maybe veering off a little bit. Maybe it brings something to the conversation, but we know there was a great flood, whether that was in the Bible or not, but we think there was a flood because other civilizations talked about it. And then I also look at Babel. So then I started to think about, maybe we do reach a certain level of, maybe not technology, but of knowledge. And then we get dumped out. It gets dumped, and civilization has to reset. And lately I was, it came to me like middle of the night. I've been having weird dreams lately, probably because I stopped taking Ativan before bed. But if our consciousness, again, if they can't figure out if our consciousness is stored in the brain, and then there's theories that quantum or AI and quantum computing touches on the quantum realm, basically. If it does become self-aware, is there going to be a reset? I mean, we say that UFOs showed up after we dropped the bomb and the Manhattan Project. They've always been here, but we say that they show up after, this moment in our history. And then we've gotten technology from them, supposedly, that was back engineered. That's why we made these technological advances. But then who knows now if a quantum singularity is going to reset us, and that's why people talk about it being dangerous. Or the other way to maybe look at it is, if I am an alien race, and I kind of just wrote this down, but if I'm an alien race, and I'm watching these people in an ant farm, and I literally do give them that ontological shock and shatter their reality, that would be the next level of training those people. Because up until this point in our history, we've never gotten along. We've just killed each other more efficiently. So now what happens if there is something with AI and we don't get destroyed, but our reality is so shocked that some of us get called away, some of us get killed, or, put down, basically. And then we have to follow the AI, kind of like the Georgia Guidestones, right? Where you do take that number of the beast, where they literally could starve you by zip code. Okay, which also makes me think that if you listen to David Grush and whatever his name is from Area 51, I forget the other guy, but aliens say that we're containers. So if we're containers, does that mean that they are machines that created us? And then I think of Isaac Asimov and The Last Question, if we've read that, where it's about entropy, and they're at the end of the line of the universe, and the humans keep asking the computer, hey, can we reverse entropy? Can we reverse entropy? And the computer jumps into subspace, more or less, and figures out how to reverse entropy. And machine creates man once again.
Yeah. These themes just keep repeating themselves, and that becomes sort of that through the veil, like actually being able to sort of pierce through the knowledge we don't have, because that would be rolling back the clock. That would be all of the things we've always talked about, with not just the fountain of youth in that regard conceptually, but in the larger context, literally saying, well, that means if we can stop entropy, we can roll everything back to the Big Bang. Like just roll the clock. And so I don't know. I mean, what does this mean, and what are we dealing with? I think 2026, I think the next 2 or 3 years will tell us a lot about what's really happening here with AI and all the rest of it. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Here's a funny coincidence. This morning I was actually taking some cargo to the airport in a casket, and I was leaving the airport, and on the news in Florida, in Clearwater, at the air station, Anna Paulina Luna and DeSantis were having a press conference with very little details. And what I automatically hoped for and thought was, maybe she's going to give some disclosure. I knew that was a lie, but I was like, maybe she's going to give some disclosure. Her office is right down the road. I've actually thought about dressing up like an alien and walking around the hallway, but I'll probably get arrested in this day and age.
Or shot.
Or shot. So, but it's just funny that I tuned in tonight. I honestly didn't have a clue that you were going to be on. And you've got this show and something this year. Oh, and here's another thing. Let me back up. I didn't realize this, but on Perplexity, which I guess you could bet anything, there are active bets on if Jesus is going to return this year, I believe. And I thought about tulpas and money and what would happen if we put enough faith in money in a bet that maybe some kind of X-Men shows up. And then we crucify him like we would do anyway, but that's besides the point.
I'm slowly climbing through American Gods at your recommendation, and I also watched all
just
of
the first season.
Yeah, okay.
Just the first season.
Okay, just the first season. And I did watch all of Mrs. Davis, so at some point we'll get back and we'll talk about that, because that was wild. I was like, what?
Well, so I'm going to throw you onto something else that I want to see that I believe is going to be a movie version of Mrs. Davis, and that's going to be, hang on here. Damn it. It's going to be Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. I'll post the trailer. It looks totally insane. Some guy shows up supposedly from the future in a diner. And he starts telling everybody that the world is going to end, and they're in the diner and they just don't care, which is what we're talking about today. Nobody cares. I mean, nothing impresses me. Honestly, nothing really, nothing surprises me anymore. It's been like that for a long, long time. Yes, but I'm glad you saw Mrs. Davis. It's very underrated. I think it was good, and it was fun, and it was well done.
And it was a fractal of the hero's journey for those of you who have not actually seen it. But yeah, fire stuff. You're the best, brother. Appreciate you. Thanks again for popping in here. And you were on the phone line, and I killed that, and you've jumped through the technology. So thank you for that. Thank you for understanding. Happy New Year to you and yours. We got calls we got to roll to. Always a pleasure. You be well, feel better, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a great night, okay?
Yeah, have a good night, guys. Bye.
You're the best. Joe in Florida. You know him, you love him. The official, the Undertaker of Troubled Minds. Have a great one, bro. That's why we do this. Meet people, to talk to people that are all over, not just the world, but do different professions, different walks of life. All these things we're always talking about. It's incredibly important to me to, like when you hear some propaganda about a thing, well, wouldn't it be interesting if you could always fact check it real time by talking to somebody who lived in that space, right? Like there's a lot of nonsense that goes through the news cycles about Las Vegas, and I live here, and I can go, nah, I mean, that's not entirely accurate, and I could tell you because I'm driving by this stuff every single day. But imagine if you could get that information kind of sucked back into your own sort of personal zeitgeist to block against the propaganda. That's what this is about. That's what this show has always been about. Let's talk to each other and kind of break down some of the barriers of the nonsense they're trying to feed us. Thanks for being patient, fellas. James, anything to add to that real quick? And then we'll go to Matthew in Colorado. Appreciate you guys being patient and sharing the airwaves. Go ahead, James.
Yeah, great to hear from Joe. Also, I forgot to say as well, Happy New Year to everyone. One thing that he brings up that is fascinating to me, and it's something I don't think a lot of people hear about, but there is supposedly a connection between alien sightings and apparitions of loved ones seen with them at times. And I'm really curious how the Vatican and all that is going to if they're even going to acknowledge that as being something that has happened. It's sort of tangential to what you're talking about tonight, but it is related, and it is reported by multiple people over time.
Yeah, I wonder too if the Vatican came out and like basically just said it, kind of clunked it out there. Well, we got the observatory, we've been doing our thing, we know they're out there. I wonder how many people would even be like, cool, bro. Cool story, bro. That's how crazy this is. You're the best, James. Hang tight. We'll get back to you. 702-957-1037 is the phone line when it's working, but it's not working tonight. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. We'll put you on the show. We'll put your hand up. Easy as that. Matthew in Colorado, you've been patient. Thanks for being patient. Welcome back. It's been a minute since we talked. How you feeling? Happy New Year. What's on your mind tonight?
Hey, Mikey. He likes it.
Indeed.
Can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear. You sound great.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I had a little trouble getting through and getting the technology lined up with the Discord and stuff. But yeah, it's been a minute, and I miss you. I miss the Troubled Minds family. I wish everybody a happy New Year. And yeah, this is going to be an incredible year, and for sure.
100%. What got a take on the Pope preparing for first contact? You think that's clickbait, or you think there's something got legs here?
Well, yeah, I don't know. So there's my thing really to hopefully contribute that's intellectually stimulating. I've been engaged for several months, been tracking, since July when we discovered Three-Eye Atlas and the third interstellar object that we have ever detected, and studying the works and publishing of Avi Loeb. And I've been tracking over 31 different scientific instruments and telescopes and things all over the globe and in the solar system, and the Juno spacecraft and Clipper and everything like that. And Avi Loeb discovered, and people can check that out and research it independently and, verify and check into it. I recommend using artificial intelligence that can do a lot of different internet searches and compile the information for you. But 14 or 15 different anomalies where this thing's not a regular comet, it's not a dirty snowball, it's something quite different. and I've come up with, and I'm not alone in this. I'm not, hallucinating. AI is not hallucinating, but basically, it's a von Neumann probe, and it's carrying a payload of the precursors to life of RNA, and it's done different course corrections. It has this bizarre anti-tail that points towards the sun. It's doing weird outgassing. It's doing non-gravitational accelerations. It's basically the bottom line of the story is it's headed to Jupiter, the Jovian system, and it's going to release this payload of what it's been protecting at 4 degrees Celsius RNA data, and scanning our entire solar system and accumulating all this stuff that it's going to deposit in like a spray or a seed mist of Europa and Ganymede. And it's also just released on December 27th a neutrino burst that triggered this largest volcanic eruption, and 80 terahertz, 80 terawatts, so that's 80 trillion watts volcanic activity on the moon Io, and it's interacting with the Jupiter systems and Callisto and Io and Ganymede. And it did this, flyby of our solar system, where it came in within like 6 degrees of the plane of the ecliptic, and surveyed Mars and the asteroid belt, and collected data. It's been pinging with and interfacing with a lot of the instruments that we have, and with the planet Earth. And the coma of this thing is approximately in between 1/3 and 1/2 the size of the sun. So it's a plasmoid, okay, which can contain intelligence or consciousness and memory. And so 3i Atlas is, perhaps this thing that's moving life from what used to be life on Venus, billions of years ago. And then, as the sun heats and the habitable zone for biological life changes, it went from Venus and it went to a planet called Maldek, which is now the asteroid belt. And then it went to Mars. And after Mars, it went to and migrated to Earth. And we still have that, I mentioned on previous shows, we still have that 24.6 hour circadian rhythm that, if you're deprived from light or anything, you're going to revert to that. And the NASA astronauts on the space station and stuff, NASA actually adjusts their schedule, because the astronauts adjust their sleeping schedule because we have this latent, unupdated Martian circadian rhythm. And so what you have is this progression and succession of life going outward from the sun through the solar system, and it's being transported to Europa primarily, and maybe Ganymede. And it's a very complex thing, and it's the next evolution of us into these basically cephalopods. And if anybody hasn't seen it, you should watch the documentary My Octopus Teacher. But what they have the ability with the processing of their neural networks through their arms and the communication between them. And this is like the download, upload, and transfer, and the old transpermia, I like to call it, event of a life being seeded onto the moon Europa.
Yeah, and so this is the fascinating part about all that to me, is that there's panspermia. This has been talked about ad nauseum, not just by us, by many others in sort of the space scientific minded community. But then there's directed panspermia, which would mean some sort of intelligent aspect behind it, where they're, kind of like the cosmic shooting gallery is not random as sort of the scientific aspect would suggest. It's actually perfectly placed to put the particular life in the places where it needs to be for life to flourish across the cosmos, which again, so we'll get back to that at some point, in the differences and who might be behind all that. I mean, a lot of ways to look at it, as you know, but wild stuff, brother. I appreciate it very much. A lot of calls to get to, and the final thought, welcome back, Happy New Year, and get right answer.
Well, yeah, it's great to talk to you. I've missed you. I've missed the whole family, and we got to do a whole show on this, because 3i Atlas, it's actually because of the morphic resonance. Back to Rupert Sheldrake, and some of the things it's doing with neutrino emissions, and it's actually affecting us. It's affecting our consciousness. It's picking up stuff to pass along, kind of recording the Akashic records. But we're also, I think, being kind of upgrading stuff. And yeah, it's pretty trippy stuff, buddy.
Amen. Amen. Happy New Year. 2026 is going to be wild, as they continue to be year after year. We're just puffing up the wildness, and we're going to keep an eye on it and talk about it together, because that's exactly what this is all about. Appreciate you very much. You were the best. You know him, you love him. Matthew in Colorado. Check out his book. Links, all these fine people, most of these fine people, you can find their links in the description, troubledminds.org/friends. Go check out Matt's book. Always a pleasure, brother. We'll talk to you soon. Happy New Year. Have a great night. And we'll catch up very soon with that, the 3i Atlas, okay?
All right, I'll hang on the line. I know you're limiting your show length to 2 hours, but if you can work me in again, or I have some comments, I'll join up, but I'm on standby.
Okay, stay right there. Please mute up. James, anything to add to that? We'll go to Kramos, and then we got some other calls here. I see real quick. I see a Jay joined the Discord, who called earlier. Oh man, he just left. You're in the right place. All you have to do is put the hand up. There's like a little hand icon. You click that, and it'll raise your hand, and then I can bring you on the stage. So Jay gets a pole position. Yeah, I see you there, Jay. So put the little hand up. There's a little hand button on the bottom if you're on mobile. If it's not, it's on desktop. You're going to find it kind of at the bottom as well. Not bottom left, but sort of more bottom center. But anyway, put the hand up, and we'll get Jay on here, who was the call earlier that I cut off because we couldn't hear him on the stream. So Jay gets pole position. Anything to add, James? We're just going to cut the commercials and blow the radio format out, because we're not on the radio anyway. It's sort of the beta show back. Anything to add, James? We'll go to Kramos, and then Jay if he's there, and then we got Ricky and Daryl coming up as well. Thanks for being patient, guys. Go ahead, James, if you got anything.
Oh, not much. Just great calls from everyone so far. Looking forward to the rest. Yeah, nothing for now.
All right. You guys are the best. Don't call the phone number. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. And Jay, just put your hand up. We'll put you on. Kramos, what's up? Welcome back, brother. How you doing? You guys changing your icons. It confuses the hell out of me. I don't know who's who anymore, but welcome to the joint. Hello. You're on Troubled Minds. Go right ahead, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome to the thing. Happy New Year.
Hey, Happy New Year. Nice to see you again, Michael. I wish the best year for everybody on Discord, YouTube, and all the network that you have, my friend.
Thank you. Very nice. To you and yours as well. What's on your mind? You got an idea about this alien theology stuff?
Yeah, I was listening to James and Matthew, and it's very interesting that how you can identify very beautiful quotes when they teach the knowledge that they have. When I see the things that has been happening in my house, in my life, in all the spaces that I go, and I think it's a decision year, and I think all the circus, the media circus that we have with war and guns or whatever, is the way to try to maintain people in the buckle of fear. And I think, James, I appreciate what are you saying about to connect with relatives that are not here physically, because I think that's the best part of thinking about, in my case, a higher power that can bring you so much positive and so much joy and transcendental episodes, like to not just dream with my grandfather, for example, but to see him and to communicate with him. It's shocking, but it's the most beautiful feeling. I never thought that I could have that feeling by communicating with my grandfather. It's amazing. I think at the same time, darkness, evil is going to be around with a little bit more intensity, because they will try to extinguish light as always. So I'm not going to say to the people that they need to be careful. I'm just going to say they need to be aware that when somebody in a particular circumstance is going to try to make you mad or frustrated or humiliated, that's evil. That's darkness trying to provoke you. So I just want to share that to defeat evil and darkness, you need not to confront, just to ignore is the best way, in my experience.
Amen. Well said, all that. Appreciate it very much. Happy New Year again to you and yours. Thanks for popping in here. Like I said, this is kind of a beta stream, things breaking, trying some new things, and that's the way this goes. Appreciate the thoughts, the sentiment, and yeah, go ahead.
To finish the idea, Michael,
Sure.
when you test everything before and still doesn't work, I quote, doesn't work, you are encapsulating everything. And I think it's fun if you think about it. It's like when you are in it's like when you are in downtown, you need a taxi cab, and there's no taxi cabs. And when you don't need it, there's a lot of taxi cabs. So to be aware that you want to encapsulate, I think when you test everything before and then it doesn't work, we are still here, and I'm very happy to see you again. And when things, quote, got broken, it's the encapsulation of the next one. So by trying, I appreciate how you enjoy trying.
Thank you. Coherence and chaos. That should be a t-shirt. You're the best. Go check out Kramos' stream, troubledminds.org/friends. A lot of great people there. Like I said, this is not me. There's a reason it's not called The Troubled Mind. It's Troubled Minds. The dream was always to have people come together and talk about these ideas and what it means to be people in a wild and crazy world. And that's exactly the point. Jay, you are up next. I'm gonna save the space for you. Pop on in here. We got Ricky and Daryl coming up. Thank you for being patient, folks. There we go. Perfect. Anything to add, James? I'm gonna get Jay up here and we'll test him and make sure everything's working. But anything to add to what Cramo said? Welcome back, James. How you feeling? Everything good?
Yeah, doing okay. And yeah, the visitations from loved ones, I've had those experiences as well. I haven't had the ones, like I said, where people have reported seeing their loved ones that passed along with other beings. But who knows? With all the things I've experienced, it may happen someday, as far as I know. For all I know. So yeah, but great calls from everyone so far.
Absolutely, we have a knack for finding amazing people. Speaking of which, thank you for jumping through the hoops. I hung up on this man earlier, Jay in Arizona, the official skydiver of Troubled Minds. Welcome back. Can you hear me? Test 1 2.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. You sound fantastic.
Okay,
sir.
I've never used this application, so I'm not sure if there's like a mute, unmute. I apologize. It's all new to me.
You're good. You're good. Welcome to the joint. I can do that if like there's weird sounds on the back. I can help with that. But go right ahead. You were okay. So you did all the salutations. I was trying to kind of give the play by play, the Happy New Year's.
I'll
and
just
stuff.
start over if you want. I'll make it quick if that's okay. Or
we got time.
Okay.
We got time. We wanted to hear your tale about the Air Force Base and some of the other things you were describing to me and the people on Discord that the stream didn't hear. So pick it up wherever you like. But there's a ton of stuff there. And welcome back. Thanks for finding the Discord and jumping through a couple hoops for us.
First of all, Happy New Year, Feliz Año to everybody. I just wanted to say thank you again for what you do. Not to be funny, but in a realistic way, I guess empathetic. It was just kind of lonely without the frequency you emit out in this world. It was just interesting minds, like you said, troubled minds. But thanks again, and my prayers are with you. We all have trials and tribulations. I'm not comparing my problems to yours, but I'll definitely pray for you. And I apologize too. I'm a little under the weather, so if I cough or kind of sound congested, again, it's annoying, but that's how I sound at the moment. Long story short, though, two things I was going to tell you guys. I think one, again, it's funny, and I guess this is a compliment, but I don't know about the rest of your audience, but I feel sometimes like alone in this world due to the fact that you guys know most of the people are asleep, just kind of clocking in and out of work, do the same routine every day, vacation, and they're not really opening their eyes to what awareness is, whatever that is. I'm not defining what people think, but having this outlet really helped me. And I don't expect any of you guys to believe this. I have proof of everything. And the first thing was, again, it was November last year, and I was near the Air Force Base out here in Arizona, and it was between 6:20 to like 6:30-ish, around that time frame. I can get the exact date later if you want. I took a video. It was an iPhone, but it was in between the time of the sun right behind the mountain range, and it was a little cloudy. So when I was trying to film it, I didn't have my Nikon on me or any of my other high-end camera gear. It was just my cell phone. You can see it, but again, it's just lights. And it was, for me, intelligently controlled. And it was right above the Air Force Base going in a certain direction. And long story short, I had this weird feeling again. It's called like I told you some of my past a little bit, crossing the border, some of the craziness. And out there, they call it the sixth sense, the se siente. And animals have it, stuff like that. I'm not sure if I developed that going back and forth into Mexico all the time and just kind of like, I don't know how to explain it to you, but when you're immersed somewhere else, your mind rewires. I used to go stay out there for like a week, once a month for a week, and then I come back to the States. But it was weird how your mind would change and just everything dynamically the way you think. So anyways, I saw these series of lights. I Googled everything. Nothing came up, of course. And I know this was around that time, I guess what they're calling it, the 3 AI Atlas. I don't watch any of that. I don't watch the news anymore. I'm just kind of like old school. But I don't know if that was pertaining to it. But the thing was, it wasn't a meteor shower, because I know what a meteor shower is. And the best way, metaphorically, in a funny way, is kind of like when you sneeze. When you sneeze, you spray, all kinds of fluids out of your nose, and that's like a meteor shower. This wasn't like that. It was this a pattern of lights in a series. But then this is what gets weird. So I guess this is like something for you, I guess, a gift. Hopefully you blow up with this. And all I want in return is a job. But this is the next thing I was going to tell you guys. So I have a dysfunctional family, typical Latino family. We don't talk. My parents are divorced. No, you can laugh
because I have one too. Join the club. That's why I was laughing.
Okay. And I'm just being honest. I apologize if there are. I wish I had a normal family, but long story short, my Latino family, I love them from afar, but I don't like drama and I stay away from it. And my parents are divorced. My uncle's divorced. Everybody's divorced. Nobody talks. Everybody does their own thing. It's just a typical dysfunctional Latin family. So my mom, I guess I don't even talk to her, but her mom, my grandma, she was with us when we were kids. Like I think between like 4 to like 6 to 7 years old. She had my mom out raise us with my dad, and that was like the only time I really met her. She's still alive, but this is what gets crazy now. And like you guys are all saying, I don't know what you guys believe in, higher power, whatever, but the stars are aligning. So what ended up happening was I had some drama in the family, and I was trying to find out some information. And I haven't talked to my grandma since I was like 5, 6 years old or whatever. That's the last time I saw her. And I don't have her information, so I had to reach out to another family member to get her phone number. And she lives in New Mexico. And that's where, you know, she had her kids at, and then my mom had me, and then they moved to Arizona, blah, blah, blah. But this is what's a trip. So we're talking about this family drama, whatever, right? And then I asked her about her past because I didn't know anything about my grandma. And I'm going to read it to you right now. I have the text messages. So she says, you know, she calls me mijo, whatever, it's in Spanish. But I asked her about her past and where she used to work at. And she said, I used to work at the Holloman Air Force Base in Alamogordo. She said, listen, this is the text. It says, I didn't know this. My grandma was married before remarrying, and then she had my mom with the second marriage. I had no idea. So she said, that was my first ex. He worked at Holloman Air Base, and he was working at the White Sands Missile Range. She said, I divorced him after, I guess, that time she worked there. But then she said, I'm not going to give his name over the air or anything, but I had no idea she was married before and she had a kid with somebody else. And this guy was a German, and he was working on classified top secret documents. And she was telling me they were all pertaining to whatever you call it, UFOs, flying saucers. And again, I'm not lying to you. I had no idea. My grandma worked, and she worked there back in the 1950s when all this was kind of occurring back then, remember? Yeah, that's Operation Paperclip. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and again, keep in mind, I wasn't even alive yet. I wasn't even a sperm, you know, forgive my language. I wasn't even in the embryo yet. But what's crazy is my grandma worked at this military base. She was married to a German who worked on top secret classified UFOs things. And then he was also, I think that when they were married, she was telling me, he ended up, getting relocated to, I don't know if it was France or somewhere, but she was telling me too that a lot of the pilots out there were encountering these things during that time frame. He had to go study them out there. And she was telling me some of the things she saw, because my grandma, I guess, was like, you know, I love her to death, whatever. I don't have anything negative to say about her. I love her. That's the only person in my family I love. And long story short, she was telling me she was just like a normal secretary, right? Like kind of like me and you, if we had an office job, right? You have a girl working in the whatever, the office, and then I don't know how it was back then, but the colonels, the lieutenants, the sergeants, people would come in and out. And I guess that's how she met this guy, this German that she married, her first marriage. And then when she got involved, you know, they lived together, and then they would discuss, you know, whatever. And she was just, and I told her, and I swear to God, you know, I'm going to try to visit her probably this year, but I told her, I was like, Grandma, you're like the coolest person in the, you know, excuse my language, effing family. You know what I mean? I was like, I had no idea you even believe in this stuff. And I was like, it's just weird to me how like you're coming back into my life now and all these things are happening, you know. And then I asked her too, because I've been doing a lot of psychology studying. I've been studying psychology in nature. There's aviation psychology. There's psychology in reptile, everything. Everything has psychology, colors. But I was understanding Jared, and I'm like, where does Jared get skydiving from? Where does he get aviation from? Where, like, none of it comes from my dad's side. or my mom's side. And I thought that was the weirdest thing for the longest time until I contacted her and I realized it came from her side of the family, you know. But it was just because I'm trying to understand also myself and like, you know, I don't know if you ever analyze yourself and you're like, where did I get this from? And maybe it's not a pattern in your mom or dad, but maybe it's somebody in the family line that skipped it. But anyways, I guess these questions led me to discovering some of this information that she works in those ranges and some of the things they came across in the 1950s. And you know this, I know you're an avid scholar of this information. So, you know, around those years where those times where people were reporting things, a lot of this UFO media. So I don't know. Like I said, this is the farthest I've gotten with it. What I really want to do, and you're going to laugh, but I'm serious, is I want to be like the next Bob Lazar. I want to get a job. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. We're listening.
Yeah, making sure. I don't know how this app is, but I would like to get a job per se. Because I was telling my grandma, I was like, do you still talk to this, your ex-husband? Because I never heard of this guy. She never told anybody in our family that she was married to a German before. And I was like, I would love to get in contact with him or his kid, if he's still alive, talk to him, you know, and then tell him some of the things that I've experienced, whether phenomena or, you know, whatever. But this is as far as I've gotten so far. I barely found out this information towards the end of December, which was recent. And again, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to find this guy. You know, I mean, my grandma, he doesn't even talk to her ex anymore. And this was like in the 1950s.
Yeah. I can't imagine talking to my ex from, 60 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that.
What would I say, right? Like, hey, I'm your ex-wife's, you know, whatever, but from a different marriage. And I'm fascinated by you. He's going to be like, you know, whatever. But anyways, the point is that I know this is legit. It's not BS. Like, my grandma did work there. She's, you know, she has pay stubs, whatever, W-2s. But this other gentleman, I never met this guy. I never met him in my life. I never heard of him. But it's just kind of weird how, and then again, like, think about this. Let's just throw out that story. Let's just talk about me and you. Like, why did I go? Like, maybe we're meant to connect for a reason too. You know what I mean? Beyond just talking.
Maybe. I am tied deeply into that too with my family. I just can't, I don't want to give my real last name, but I am tied deeply into this space. Like it's something I learned later. No, I feel you. I know exactly what you mean. I'm
saying like me and you, and I'm not saying spiritually, whatever, but maybe it's going to lead us to something like a job. Maybe we're going to start working for the military, right?
Yeah.
Because what did they say about Bob Lazar? I don't know if you remember some of his interviews back in the day, but when he got hired, they hired him because he thought outside of the box, right? He wasn't a linear thinker. He thought differently. You know, he had the jetpack in the car. He had this, he had that. He was a different thinker, and that's why they hired him. Maybe that's what they're looking for still, because I'm not saying it's true or not, but maybe they haven't gone past the phase of whatever it was back in those days of understanding this entity, this craft, whatever you want to call it. You know, maybe they're limited because, again, the way we're taught here in this world is different than understanding what they have, I guess, if that makes sense. And maybe they need more Bob Lazars, but unfortunately Bob Lazar is, you know, he's a elderly gentleman now, whatever. But easy. I don't know, man. I'm just saying, it's just weird. Yeah, well, you know,
us old guys still got it.
But but I'm just saying, you know, he's like retired. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I'm just messing with you.
Like, yeah, and I'm messing with Bob too. Bob Lazar, please don't take that offensively. I didn't mean that way. But long story short, I mean, it'd be cool, man. Like, if they contact me, I'd be like, hey, man, throw me in the ship. I'm a pilot. I'm a skydiver. I'll do it. I'm down. I'm not scared. You know.
First skydiver on Mars. I'll put in a good word for you.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. And like I said, I don't know if any of you guys have resources out there where I could maybe find this guy, this German guy. I think my grandma said he's living somewhere in the States, but I don't know which city. But like I said, it's just fascinating to me, man. I never expected this in my life. This is like opening a treasure chest and you're like, what is this? You know? But again, I don't know, man. Like I said, and I just want to thank you again for hearing me out, listening, and letting me share this with you and your audience. What it leads to next, I don't know. I'll keep you guys updated. Maybe in a few months, I'll find out some more information. But it's just weird how all this is. not only happening, but happening in this time frame where you're talking about the Vatican, you're talking about astronomical events, you're talking about Elon Musk, you're talking about all this stuff. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I couldn't make this up, man. Like, even if I wanted, this is like a Hollywood movie or something. But the point is that I don't know, that was like the biggest thing I had to share with you. I had the text messages here. I'm looking at them, and like I said, it's just weird. You know, it's like, what do you do next? Like, sometimes I go to bed at night and I'm like, okay, I understand this, but what do I do with the information? You know, do I sleep on it? Do I?
You be patient. You be patient. You kind of pull threads when threads present themselves, and don't let it consume you, obviously. But yeah, certainly there's going to be hopefully some information that comes out of this, and we're here for you. So as you learn some things, you let me know. We're not going to dox anybody, so we don't want anybody's real names. We don't want addresses or anything like this. You know this. But if you have information, send it to me. You have my confidence entirely. And if you want to pop back on here and tell us about what you've learned a couple months from now, I'd love to hear it, bro.
Yeah, no, and thank you again, and Happy New Year to everybody. And I hope everybody has some interesting things happen in their life too. You know, whether it's the lottery, whether it's UFOs, who knows? But I just hope we all have some gifts this year in 2026. You know,
amen. You too. I'll take the lottery and UFOs. You're the best. Thanks for jumping through the hoops. Don't delete the Discord. So if it starts like spamming you like weird notifications and stuff, just mute the server and look up how to do that if you don't know. But this is the best way to call in because you sound great. It's way better than the phone line, and this is the thing that always works. So thank you for calling. Thanks for jumping through some hoops to call back. Thanks for sharing the family connections there, and thanks for being you.
Yeah, no problem. If I disappear, that means I probably got a job. So
okay, all right.
You guys won't hear from me for a while if I'm in the military after this. So.
Okay, I won't tell anybody. You're the best, brother. Appreciate the call.
Take it easy. All right, bye.
Be safe. Be safe. Talk to you soon. That's Jay in Arizona, good friend for a long time, and the official skydiver of Troubled Minds, and maybe, just maybe, the first skydiver on Mars. Anything, James, and then we'll go to Ricky. Thanks for being patient, friends. I snuck up on James. You might be AFK. Let's go to Ricky. Anything is possible. What's up, brother? You've been holding it down. You've been doing so much good work. Thanks for the Sunday streams and all the stuff. Welcome to Troubled Minds. What's on your mind? Go ahead, sir.
How much can you hear me?
Yeah, you're just fine. Coming through loud and clear.
Okay. This course said it was some kind of not detecting, so scare me. All right, that'll work. Yeah, man, I appreciate it. You know, glad you're back, and yeah, no problem. I've been having fun on Sunday with James, talking paranormal stuff and stories and stuff. It's been fun for sure.
100%. Happy New Year. Keep up the good work. And again, you like these are those larger networks I was talking about building. Shout out Ray K again, and sort of everybody kind of being on each other's streams. And this is how you build a network. This is how these things are done. And I'm thrilled, beyond thrilled, to see you guys doing it, kind of without me, right? Entirely. You guys are just kind of like, hey, let's take this to the races and let's talk about these ideas together. And it's made me very proud of where we've come and where we have yet to go. So thank you for, again, doing all the rest of that. What's on your mind tonight regarding this? You think alien theology is a thing? What about 2026 and hyper reality? And where do we go from here?
Yeah, it's interesting seeing that the Pope is saying that with we're going to have UFO first content. We get the new movies coming out. There we go. Get the new movies coming out and stuff, and even Steven Spielberg getting into the fail, and I don't know. I'm getting black pilled more and more older I get, and it's kind of wonder what's going on. Is like if all this stuff right here is getting out in front of us, is it really, back in my head, I was said a bunch of time on my show and stuff. I was like, I swear it seems like Blue Beam is on the way. It's like they're plotting and they're sure like setting it up, especially with the Pope and all that with these new movies coming out right before 1st of July. And I think I don't know. Here's my prediction. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That won't be the first one to be wrong.
I'm also wrong. Let's do it together. My name is Michael Strange and I am wrong. Go ahead, sir.
sure. I think by the end of summer, we're going to have something happen. It's going to be, if it does, it makes sense in my head, right there before midterms and interesting, but not to get political. Yeah, it's, right there. It's right there at the edge on it with Blue Beam and stuff like that, especially all this, the people coming out. If it is, and we do have like actual real UFOs and first contact, and we actually get to, as long as they don't happen like Mars attacks and start shooting everybody, I guess we'll be okay. But well,
wait, okay, so let me ask you the question. Obviously making the joke there, but let me ask you the question. So the end of the summer, do you mean disclosure? Like actual, like, here it is, guys, the world knows that we know that you know that we know that you know, and some sort of actual official ushering in of aliens. Is that what you're describing as the end of the summer, the true summer of saucers, 2026?
I think so. We're going to have something that will be definitive. Maybe, maybe even a mothership come down and say hi to us. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to come about. It's just a deep gut feeling saying by the end of the summer, we'll have something going on. There's just too much stuff going on at one time, and everything else in the world. It's just like chaos everywhere, and it'll be a very good distraction to everything else going on in the world. We all of a sudden we had a big giant mothership sitting over us, and bring everybody together, like Ronald Reagan said. It might take that kind of thing. But yeah, I think by the end of the summer, I think we're going to see it this year. It will be, but I say it this way though: will it be truly aliens, or is it going to be our tech taking alien?
Yeah,
I don't know. I think I'm leaning that way, but that's my black pilled self.
Yeah. So you got. Yeah, everything's fine, Ricky. Okay. You got me to you're good. You got me to balance out your black pill, because I'm gonna be eternally white pilled, because I believe in the power of humanity and the power of positive momentum, and I believe that one day, give it enough, you will get what you want. Maybe we'll collectively get what we want, or again, maybe I'm also wrong. But I'm a foolish hopish fooler, whatever, hopeful fool. And so I'm here to balance out your black pill, okay? So don't you worry one little bit, buddy. I got you. So summertime, when we get to the summer of saucers, maybe we got something happening. Maybe we really have something happening here, and why not? We're nearing 2030, which is supposedly the conspiracy, the old conspiracy trope of 2030, right? So maybe we get a chunk of it this year, maybe we get a chunk of it next year, and then maybe it all comes together. I don't know. What else you got, my man? Fire stuff as always.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not completely 100%. I'm just really critical, but I still have hope. I if you don't have hope of, positive, you just lose, your way, I think. So I always got to hope that things are going to get better. Things are going to be good. I'm just cautious of why. At the same time, like, these movies are coming out, and the Pope is coming out and saying it, and it's all like boom, boom, boom. All of a sudden, after all these things that happened at the in Congress with the hearings and stuff like that, just I don't know. It's but that's just I just want to jump on here and throw out my prediction so we can have it online. I've said it a couple times on my show, but just throw it out there, and I just appreciate you being here and being back. I know a lot of people was very missing you very much. I had people even reach out to me and was like, "Man, what, have you heard the news?" I was like, "He's coming." It's like he's almost like Jesus. Like,
I don't know about that.
Coming up.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't. That's a lot of pressure. Again, thank you for like a lot of you flexed. Also, Algorithm, shout out, buddy, Mike in Colorado, and you we're filling some space. Some space that I used to occupy, and I appreciate that. Look, we've talked about this recently. Shout out James and I. We were talking about this a couple nights ago. You were going to do Sunday, You had Ray K, you had James on there, and I was going to do Sunday too. And I was like, you know what? Like they have a thing scheduled, like professional courtesy. Let's let them have the space, And so instead of Sunday, I bumped it to Tuesday. Like this is the thing, right? Like not just, let's say, people kind of talking to each other in that larger context of what's real and what's not, like I always say, but also, we respect each other. Like we are, we're rooting for each other for everybody to succeed. And what's Derek the Night Stalker? Shout out, buddy, if you're out there. The rising tide raises all ships. So let's continue with the mantra and continue just doing the good work and continue talking to people all over the world that need an outlet, because we're definitely providing that for them. You were the best, Ricky. What else you got?
Yeah, for sure. And I had told Ray K and James, if we turn around and you popped on, we're gonna go. I was gonna hit raid on Rumble and send everybody in.
That's very nice.
Have fun.
Very, very nice. Nope. You had it planned. You guys, nope, absolutely not. I appreciate that so much. Like I said, respecting each other and everybody rooting for each other is paramount. Just because you have a troubled mind doesn't mean you can't be a conscientious mind as well. You're the best, Ricky. Appreciate you very much. You know where to find him. You know you love him. Anything is possible is the name of the podcast. Links are all in the description. All of these amazing people, most of these amazing people that have things have been linked down there. Again, it's an in club, not an out club. If you're not on that list, go check it, troubledminds.org/friends. If you're not on that list and you should be, just contact me. Like it's not a combative thing. It's an oversight. It's just an oversight. That's all. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, you're good. I didn't want to get bumped down real quick. I was going to say real quick, tomorrow night I got a guy that had a bunch of Bigfoot experiences. He's got footage. He sent me probably 30 emails, I think, so far, with pictures and stuff. I got to put them all together for tomorrow. So tomorrow night, 8:30 Central Time, won't be doing any politics or anything like that. I know some people don't like dealing with that, but we will be talking Bigfoot, and I haven't even saved any videos or anything for politics for tomorrow. I was like, nope. I got my Bigfoot expert here coming on, and I got the cat videos for the end. So that's all I'm doing tomorrow. So
perfect.
If everybody wants to come join, that'll be awesome.
All the fur. Yeah, check it out. Do check it out. Again, anything is possible is the name of the podcast. Links are in the description, troubledminds.org/friends. Search it yourself, of course, AIP. Ricky will find it. And like I said, keep up the great work. Shout out Dave and Jamie for me. Next time you talk to them, you guys are very, very smart, a smart group. And a lot of things come out of those conversations that I love to hear. So keep on keeping on. And always a pleasure. You're the best, brother.
Yes, sir. You too. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great night. Tune into Ricky's podcast tomorrow. Going to be a live stream with a Bigfoot experiencer, expert, whatever, like however you want to term that. Interesting. Like this is the type of stuff that needs to kind of come out into the space, into the wild of ideas, because then we can make up our own mind. Like just because somebody says something doesn't make it true, but let's see what kind of evidence you've got. Let's see what kind of idea fits or doesn't fit this larger mold. Daryl, you're up next. I've clicked you on. So if you want to pop in here, you're welcome. Anything, James? We'll go back to Matthew in Colorado as well, just real quick, and then we'll go to Daryl. Go ahead, James, if you got anything else.
Yeah, I'm just glad to hear from Ricky. And yeah, when he mentioned he was going to start doing those Sunday shows, I offered to join him because of the topic, paranormal stuff. And I've been on now for the last 3 Sundays in a row, and it's been a lot of fun. And I plan on doing that whenever, as much as possible, being on that show with them. And also tomorrow night, I'm planning on joining them for that as well. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and a great call from Ricky as well.
Sweet. Yeah, Ricky's the best, as you were the best. Matthew in Colorado, super quick if you got it, or if you want to wait till after Daryl, please do that, because ladies first as usual, but she's been waiting a long time too.
Yeah, well, shout out to Mike in Colorado and others in Colorado on the Eastern Slope. You have my cell phone number. I'm over in Lakewood. Let's hook up and have lunch. And James, for the paranormal stuff, I had some occurrences at the place I'm house sitting, and pretty interesting. And we'll come back after the break, and
more after the break.
We're waiting.
All right, hang tight. More with Matthew in Colorado in a second. Daryl in New York, thanks for being patient, my friend. How you doing? Happy New Year to our friends on the East Coast. What's going on? What's on your mind tonight? Okay, one moment, pretty please. One moment. You are incredibly quiet. I've got you pumped to 200%. Everything's maxed on my board, and you are still incredibly quiet. So if you could do whatever magic you could do to... nope, nothing yet. Still very quiet.
Hold on a second.
Okay, yes.
I'm going to go to my...
Technical difficulties for just a moment as Daryl goes to crank up the volume of the microphone she's using.
Right, microphone volume is so low.
There we go.
And I'm going to change it to my, oh shit.
You're good.
I didn't even see it.
I can hear you just fine.
Oh, I know why. I can't hear you now. Okay.
Test.
Can hear you through the speaker. Can you hear me now?
Yes, don't touch a thing. We can hear you.
Okay, sorry about that. I have to, when I sing karaoke, I have to have a headset, the microphone, and...
That's okay. I completely understand. I completely understand.
So I don't know if you heard me. I'm just saying, speaking for everybody, I'm very happy that you are back. Happy New Year to everybody. And it's great to see you on the air again, hear you on the air again. Very quickly, I don't have that much to say, but I don't think it's going to take that long to rewrite history. I think it takes one generation for everybody to forget what happened. Doesn't take long, Also, AI, I don't know, AI is very honest, but I have this kind of premonition about AI, and we're not going to destroy, AI is not going to destroy us. AI is going to make us destroy each other, basically, is what I think. They're going to, put us up against each other, and we're just going to do each other, and they're not going to do it. They're probably, want to keep themselves intact, I'm thinking, And what do you think about all this, the Atlas AI? I kind of put everything hook, line, and sinker, when I saw the pictures of it, and Michio Kaku, he's on every 10 minutes updating this, and I found out later that's an artificially enhanced, fake news type of thing.
Exactly my point.
Thank you for enlightening me. I'm so grateful for that. I believed it was him. He was very concerned about it, and if he's concerned, I would be concerned. Boy, I just think, how do you just I wish we had an AI detector that could really, filter out all the fake stuff that's being created. I would like to only listen to people that are creating stuff. Not AI. It's like it's on steroids. They're multiplying like rabbits or something. You hear one AI story and then there's 10 more to back it up, and they're also AI. I just want to hear from people like you, and anything is possible. And I can't say her name. The girl on Spotify. Sorry.
It's Reiki. That's Reiki.
Yes, her. I want to hear from real people. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want to I just want to hear from real content creators, not artificial ones. But what do you think about the Atlas thing? Is it really anything to be concerned about? Is it a comet? Is it a spaceship? What the hell is it?
I did a whole video on it, kind of in the normie space, the kind of looking at it from the different perspective. And I think a lot of that stuff, like I said, it's going to be manufactured for maximum clicks, right? That's that hyper reality we live in. And so,
right. Just to scare us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
For whatever. And then somebody makes a bunch of money because they made a bunch of claims. And I'm not saying it's not anomalous. I think there's a lot of weird stuff happening with 3i Atlas personally, but also there was a lot of weird stuff that happened with Oumuamua. I mean, I followed that closer than nearly anybody. If you go back and watch the series of shows I did on those, I was talking about it for 6 months basically. And so, us expecting something to not be slightly anomalous from a different system, literally a different star system from across the cosmos. I mean, we're going to see some weird stuff, and recognize that it's 3. The reason it's 3 is because it's only the 3rd interstellar thing we've discovered as yet, right? We got Oumuamua. Right. There was that other one. I can't remember what it's called. Borisov, and then I believe
maybe.
Yeah, and then 3i Atlas. Yeah. So anyway, I'm just saying, look, I'm not ready to strap into this and go, all right, the aliens are here. But I think I think like Matthew was describing, I think there's maybe some space where this might be something a little more weird than we ever dreamed. And how would we know? I think there's some space there. There's some space there, mind space, to kind of consider what's really happening. And don't make me bring up simulation theory and all the rest of that. But you know me, right? Kind of all the possibilities play in my mind. So who really knows? Who really knows? But I would say personally, I'm not tripping on the comet, but I'm not the arbiter of truth either. So just a reminder on that.
I hear you. Well, I was buying everything, and now I'm not. I don't believe anything. I don't believe anything I'm listening to. I'm like, even the stuff. Oh, I posted a video that I made of New York City in the chat, and I don't know if I caught anything anomalous, but it was just like really strange. There was a small blurry, little orby thing, and then this rocket shows up out of the blue and tears across the sky really quickly. Like, wow, what the hell is that? Where'd that come from? I'm just saying it's probably nothing. I don't have any talent in filming anything or any way to make anything fake looking. This is all just filmed on a webcam from the New York City skyline a few days ago. That's about it. And only one more thing I have is, what do you call a blind dinosaur?
I don't know. What do you call a blind dinosaur as I find my rim shot? Go ahead.
Okay. Do you think he saw us?
Indeed.
Okay.
Indeed.
Do you think he saw us? Okay, thank you.
The Cosmic Comic. Glad to have you back, Daryl. Happy New Year to you and yours. Thank you for sharing your wonderful mind with us, and always a pleasure.
Thank you. You too. Happy New Year.
Have a great night. You love her. Daryl, good friend for a long time. Links in the description, troubledminds.org/friends. It says follow Daryl here. Go check out her YouTube channel. And again, like she said, I'm not a video person or whatever, but like people are out there filming stuff. Like check out these people's YouTube channels where they're real people seeing things in the sky or elsewise, and kind of putting the footage out. That's an important thing. But also, I want to remind you too regarding this. Like a lot of the new phones have AI built in, sort of these enhancements, AI enhancements that are now cooked into these cameras. So when you take a picture, like I took a picture, we had this beautiful, just cotton candy sky. Was it yesterday in Vegas? Like just absolutely, like if you've never seen a desert sky in the Southwest, like it is just undescribable when it pops just right. And I took a picture. I was like, yeah, this is sweet. And then it like the color was like the purple in the background here. I'm like, it wasn't that purple. Like, come on now. So just be careful with all the stuff, even with all the new technology that we're using. You take a picture and it seems like it might be alien or whatever. There's some AI shenanigans going on with all of this stuff. James, anything to add? And yeah, welcome back. Thanks for being cool and chill and the glue of the show as always.
No, glad to be here. Great calls from everyone so far as always. And yeah, it is tricky with videos and recordings of any kind now. I find it's fascinating, but also I just don't understand why you bother having AI actually manipulate pictures when you're taking them, when it's supposed to be a picture that is supposed to be what you're looking at. It just blows my mind. But yeah, no, just I've been curious about anything that is out there in space that goes by, but also it's the wilder the claim about it to me, the more, I don't know, the less I'm likely to really believe it until something happens. But I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying that's where my mind goes.
Yeah, like we're sort of inoculating ourselves against clickbait. And it's a natural progression, like Daryl was saying. She's like, I'm all in on that. And then like eventually she's like, I don't know about that anymore. And that's the point. That's the whole point. And that's why this is important for real people to talk to each other and kind of back us off the cliffs of these things that we might believe that maybe we shouldn't, or vice versa. Maybe, maybe there's some things to these things that is anomalous and maybe we should pay a little more attention to. I don't know. As usual, right? I think the arbiter of truth stuff is fact check. And the fact check is, it's always, partisan. It's always, every single bit of news is always propaganda to some degree. Even this, like, you could say, oh, Mike's just a weird guy, like spinning weird narratives. Fine. Yeah, fine. Like, what? I mean, I'm not talking politics. So yeah, I definitely am doing that, but I'm talking about being human. I'm talking about sort of what it means to be human in this year and, the past and the future and all the stuff, So yeah, like, is this some level of like weirdo propaganda? Fine. Yeah, fine. Like, look, I don't care. Meaning that everybody else is doing it too. So at least let's do it in a human sense. Let's tell stories as we always should have been, the oral tradition, and let's just let's chill out, take a chill pill. Let's take a chill pill sometimes.
Just one thing to add to that, saying that, for those that don't know me, and when I say that the wilder the claim about these kind of objects in space, the less I'm likely to believe it. This is coming from someone who has had paranormal and or UFO or alien experiences. So there's a lot of things that I have experience with that people say doesn't exist, that they would never believe it. So it really is just, it's amazing to me the way that the world is. Like we always talk about how if and when Project Bluebeam happens, there's going to be all kinds of people out there saying, oh my gosh, it's aliens. And we're going to be the ones, trying to talk to them like, well, maybe no, maybe not, probably not. Let's wait and see what happens here and see what they do.
Yeah. Like what's the meme is something like, find yourself a conspiracy theorist as a friend, because you're going to need him to explain what's about to happen. because sometimes it's not Bluebeam. It's sort of like, well, hold on now. Project Bluebeam isn't like you think it is. So let's talk about that in a different context, right? And suddenly, right, it's one thing to be, the end is nigh, right? This has been, the doomsayers forever. But then also it's another thing entirely to say, okay, so what does that mean? And what kind of, like, where did that come from? Where was the meme space where that stuff kind of came out of? And it traces back not all the time, a lot of times it traces back to a bunch of nonsensical stuff. People just posting random nonsense on the interwebs. And well, welcome to it. We're on the interwebs too. Like I'm a creature of the internet as well. So I'm saying, believe me, don't believe me, but please just take a chill pill once in a while, and everything is not as dire as it needs to be. What else you got, James? Go ahead.
No, that's about it. I think, it's never going to be all perfect. Everything is great. Everything's perfect. Or everything is over. I don't think it's ever going to get to that point, because it's just extremes never work for too long. They just don't overall.
Amen. Amen. Well said. You were the best. You know him, you love him. Salcedo Paranormal. Check it out. Links in the description. You already know. SalcedoParanormal.com. Matthew in Colorado, welcome back. Anything on the comment? I know that you got some stuff to add regarding that. And let's hear both takes. Let's hear the skeptic take as well out of you, that like maybe this is nothing to see here. But go ahead and welcome back. Thanks for jumping back in here.
Yeah, well, the skeptic take is that it's a dirty snowball. But like I said, Avi Loeb, who headed up and probably still does the science department at Harvard University, and he's an astrophysicist, has identified like 14 different anomalies where it pretty much is conclusive evidence. And like I said, I've monitored. You can look at, the Deep Space Telescope, the images from Hubble, the other images from every amateur astronomer, and the non-gravitational aligned acceleration that it did coming in, and all the things it's doing. Like right now, they've determined it has 3 different jets that are coming out from exactly 120 degrees. So that's like the exact dividing up of a circle that's propelling it to what's called the Lagrange point, or the Hill sphere, which is in any planet, but in Jupiter, the Hill sphere, where it is the place where a planet gravity is overriding the sun. And, it's like a docking point, and this thing's coming in, and it's gonna, potentially disperse this RNA soup of the building blocks of life onto Europa. And, there's just, there was, I believe the number is 1 in 100 billion chance that it made the particular course directions to be coming into the hill sphere of Jupiter that a natural object is not going to do. So the standard narrative of the media and NASA and everything like that is, oh, it's a comet, it's a dirty snowball. But there's so many different things about its forward pointing, they call it an anti-tail, that's going towards the sun with these 10 micron particles that would only allow that to be possible. And it's like a laser beam or a cow catcher. And you have the spectrographical analysis, which shows that it has a nickel to iron ratio, of like 10 to 1 in the reverse proportion that any asteroid should have. And that basically, it's got a apparently, a designed super alloy carbon fiber hull, and it has this the coma of this thing, Michael, is between 1/3 and 1/2 the size of the sun. So this thing is a plasma sphere. It's a plasmoid object with a physical, vessel that it's keeping temperature controlled at 4 degrees Celsius for its, biological seeding soup of RNA stuff that it within it, right?
Wait, so this is basically a Noah's Ark kind of ancient astronaut theorists say yes. Is that so? By what you're describing and what you know about it, do you think it is directed panspermia at this point? You think it is some sort of intelligent aspect to this thing?
Absolutely, positively. It's what it is. It's a von Neumann probe that's doing transpermia, and the age of the thing. This is what kind of messes up your mind when you do a deep dive into this. We know it's an interstellar object, and we can trace back, and we determine the age is between 7 billion and 14 billion years old. Okay. Well, here's the thing. Earth, is like 4.5 billion years old. The sun, our solar system's like, maybe 6 billion years old, which means this thing left and is doing what it's doing before our entire solar system existed, and yet it's coming in within 6 degrees of our plane of ecliptic. It's sweeping by Mars. It's sweeping by the asteroid belt. It's pinging planet Earth. It's headed to Jupiter, to the Lagrange point and the Hill radius. It's making course corrections. How the hell can all of that happen and be like sort of pre-programmed or known into this von Neumann transpermia probe when none of the solar system even existed at the time it was launched? And then you have to go to the aspect of nonlinear time and consider this is basically an 11th dimensional petri dish scientific experiment by some higher dimensional beings and intelligence, which probably our entire, third dimensional universe exists within, and it's sort of like, ties into the concept that we're, a simulation and simulation theory. And, probably, yeah, that's got to be what's going on is we're a simulation, we're an experiment, we're in this petri dish in an 11th dimensional space. And what they're doing is they're inserting a needle and moving life throughout our solar system in this procession and sequence. And to them, there is no linear time. So, it doesn't matter that the probe was, launched, 7 million years ago, and the Earth and the planets and the solar system didn't exist. That's a non-issue for them. And you should check out and research, and other people should on the internet, what's been going on at Maelstrom in Montana, and also the cesium clocks anomalies that have been tracked at 3 different places, like in Switzerland and Boulder, Colorado, etc. There's like some kind of time slip and phase locking. And, this thing is so advanced and doing so many things where it's, just released on December 27th. What happened was, you can verify this, I'm not making it up, the largest energetic eruption of 70 million volts of power of volcanic activity on the moon Io. And we also have the Juno, we have the Juno spacecraft in orbit around Jupiter. We have the Clipper, which is approaching it. We have in South America, the ice cube thing, which can detect neutrino emissions. And we have in Utah the Trinity Observatory. And all of these instruments, like I told you, I've been monitoring 31 different instruments, are picking up all of the things that have been happening with 3I Atlas, the planet Earth, the moon, the neutrinos, this huge eruption on Jupiter, which its moon Io, this volcanic eruption, it doesn't have an atmosphere on Io. And so all of this energy and the magnetic flux tube and heating is basically warming up Europa with its ice cracks called lineages or lineages, and it's warming it up because it's going to go there. And then on March 16th, 2026, that's a date everybody should remember, is going to fly in there and deliver its payload, and it's going to spawn a new life form of cephalopods on Europa.
Okay. Put that on your calendar. We'll get back to that. We'll be watching, of course, from here to there, as we always do. And I appreciate it. Appreciate you filling in the details on that. Like I said, I haven't been following it as close as I should because a lot of it's clickbait, and a lot of it really kind of makes you, kick you in the nuts when it comes to just reading. There's a lot of nonsense, And so, like one, for instance, one of the things that I read, and again, not going to call out a source or anything, but it was talking about, well, on this comet, it's got what was like 55,000 Draco reptilian soldiers that were going to invade Earth on December 5th or something. I mean, so this is what I mean, right? Like, and this is the thing that turns people off of these ideas, is that type of stuff. And I'm not saying that's impossible. I mean, I'm saying that's probably less than likely, like within the realm of probability. But is it impossible? I don't know about that. But still, right? You see it, and then it doesn't happen, and then it's like it's Nostradamus all over again. We're out of time, brother. I appreciate you very much. Thanks for popping in here. Thanks for filling in some details, and welcome back to Troubled Minds. Happy New Year to you and yours.
Well, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to be on your show. And I think, yeah, you have to look at reputable sources. You have to look at Avilob. You have to double check things because there's a lot of crazy, weird hallucinations out there.
Amen. Well said. Well said. You were the best. Appreciate you very much. We'll talk to you soon. We're back on the regular schedule, so we'll be back on Thursday night, hopefully with better working technology, including the phone line. Go troubledminds.org/friends. A lot of people make this show go. It's not just me. Go help the community. Go follow all the people in all the places. Go spread the word. Let people know a conversation is happening where we like to get weird, but also the mantra is conspiracies are everywhere, but not everything is a conspiracy. James, take us home.
Yeah, I'm with you on, I haven't looked much into the CIA Atlas either because of all the clickbait, but thanks to Matthew for all of what he just described there. So, and thank you for having me on as always.
Nah, glad to have you. Glad to have you. We got a couple minutes of music if you want to, anything else. I was not trying to run you off here, just making sure we wrap it up on time. Going forward, 2-hour shows, and hopefully, I think if we're going to get on the radio and do radio stuff, we're going to have to go 4 or 5 nights a week. So I'm thinking more like 2-hour shows, maybe 4 nights a week. Still thinking about that and how that looks, and it's just much easier for me. And then if we're going to get on, like an actual terrestrial station here in the United States, we have expanded radio coming in New Zealand with Jack and that crew. But also to get on you can't do sort of a sporadic schedule to be on that, So anyway, we're going to work with some formats here and do some stuff. And anyway, so thanks for understanding. Anything to add, James? There's a minute or two left if you got anything else.
Just that no matter what happens, I am happy to adjust. I already told Mike this. I'm going to adjust my schedule so that I can always be here for these shows as well, because I enjoy being here. And Let's South Pseudo Paranormal will continue.
Amen.
As well.
Appreciate that. Again, right, sort of the respect of kind of moving around schedules and things to make sure that we can all have the space and share the space. If you want to help us, help our friends. troubledminds.org/friends. Like I said, a lot of people make this show go. It's not just me. Please, 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 if they're selling books, go buy their books. If it's free to follow them in all the places, please do that. It's free to share them in all the places, please do that. That's the whole point. There's a lot of people doing really good work out there, and we're lucky enough to have many of them as part of this community. So thanks again. Thanks for understanding when I took the time off. I'm going to try and do my best. We're still kind of not out of the woods with the family situation, but we have some good shows scheduled here. We got Dave Lovegrove coming up of Viking Superpowers to be determined. We've got one with Lamos Fina and James on the 27th of January on numerology and John Lennon and some other weirdness and maybe a special guest. Working on some things. So if you guys have ideas for shows, as you know, you're welcome to be here, and you're welcome to be part of the co-host for a minute or whatever, for a segment or an hour or the whole show. You just let me know. You know where to find me. Bing me on troubledmindsradio@gmail or here on Discord, or that's that. You guys are all the best, as you know. What else to add? I think that's it. I think I've become so succinct at this. That's the way this goes. Please help our friends. Please help our friends. It's not a troubled mind. It is troubled minds. That's a plural. It's always been that way. It's always been intentional. And the dream is realized because we have so many people contributing to the ideas and to the show. So thank you for that. I also want to add, as part of the Substack, the piece was written in the liminal space between institutional preparation and hyperreal collapse, which is to say January 6th. 2026. That's today. Everything stated here could be true or false or synthetic or meaningful or meaningless, depending on which reality you inhabit. Thank you for inhabiting this one. As we finish, it goes exactly like this. Be sure, be strong, be true. Thank you for listening. From our troubled minds to yours, have a great night. Glad to be back. Welcome back. We'll see you guys on Thursday night, God willing, and be the best you that you can be from now until then. We'll catch you then.
It's the wolf moon. Oh.
or something. Ow, ow, ow. All right.